Hey everyone, just thought I'd review something a little bit different today. I've got these Master of the Universe Revelation figures. So I've got two of them. I've got He-Man and Skelegod. And I've actually picked these up from Smith's toy store. So they managed to have a couple in. But I've noticed a few other online places seem to have these two in, but not the rest. I do have these two on pre-order somewhere, so I'll end up probably selling another kind of the duplicates when I get these in. But I kind of just watched the series, so I was eager to get hold of the figures and take a look at them. First thing that surprised me actually is the size of the figures. They're actually pretty big figures. I mean, I've got the Origins figures to kind of compare them side by side, and also the 2000X ones as well. I don't think I've got any of the classics left, unfortunately, but I guess they're kind of on par with that, but we'll take a look at them. Anyway, here he is in his packaging. You can see he's kind of got that kind of hand armor thing, which he has in the series, and a couple of swap out hands, shield, and obviously the sword. Yeah, it's a big old box here, Netflix on the side here, and then you get this gorgeous kind of cover art on here as well, and then on the back here as well. So the artwork on these things looks great, and it shows you some of the other figures in the line, like Mossman, Skeletor, and Evil Lyn. I believe they've also announced a second wave of figures, which includes, I think, Beastman, Man at Arms, Teela. I can't remember who the other one is. They'll come back to me, but those ones are the ones that I definitely know about. Anyway, here he is in the packaging. What we'll do now is we'll open him up and take a look at out of the packaging. We'll take a look at things like articulation, all the swap out features, things like that. And we'll also do a bit of a comparison versus the 2000X version, sorry, and also the Origins version as well. So we'll be back in a second. Right, here we are. Here's He-Man straight out of the box. Well, kind of. I've swapped out his hands. If you hear that noise, that's my dog. So we've got a puppy, and she's cockapoo, and she's underneath my chair at the moment, and she does this thing where she's sleeping or just kind of waking up from sleep, and she makes a real kind of groaning noise. So if you hear that, you know, it's not my tummy or anything, it's the dog. Okay, so yeah, you see you get a couple of hands here. So he comes with the kind of clenched fist, which is here, which are easy enough to sort of take out and swap out. And then he's got an open hand, which you can swap out for the kind of straight hand that's on here, which helps you then put on the shield. Obviously, I've got him holding the sword. The packaging is very collector friendly. So as you open it up, you've got kind of shell and stuff on here. There's no tape or anything. You just lift it off and lift the figure out. So there's no extra ties or anything else like that. So if you did want to display him in box, it'd be quite easy to take him out, play with him a little bit, and then put him back in without kind of really much damage to the packaging or anything. So that's quite a cool thing. I quite like that. In terms of scale, I mentioned he was quite a sort of tall one. There he is alongside a 2000X figure, or one of the many different He-Mans. You can see here, so he's a fair bit kind of taller than him, I would say. And then if we're going to bring in the Origins version to the side here as well, you can see he's also a bit bigger than him as well. I'll just adjust the brightness a little bit. I'm in a different room today, so as I because of that, the sun is kind of coming in a little bit, and just kind of making me have to sort of adjust things as and when it gets bright and dark, etc. But they are kind of all alongside each other. In terms of like a colour match, he is kind of like somewhere in between the two. So he's not quite as brown as the Origins one, but he's kind of definitely more of a tan colour than the kind of more kind of white kind of Aryan look that you've got with this other He-Man here, I would say, definitely. Anyway, and you can see the hair colour is probably closer to this one than it is the Origins one, but there you are. Then in terms of articulation, everything, I've mentioned the hands that you can kind of pull off, the arms as well. You can kind of get him in a good pose where you can kind of hold the power sword up like that. So you get him so he's kind of raised like that. So you can get some decent poses out of him. The face sculpt is all right. It's a little bit unusual looking. The eyes really kind of stand out, whereas these kind of facial features kind of fall into the background. Really, they don't pop as much. It's a good head sculpt, but what I would say is he doesn't overly look like the Revelations version on, oh god, sneeze then, off the TV program. He's got a bit more of a slender face. So to me, you know, the head sculpt could be improved, sort of like bulk out a little bit wider. But the hair's pretty good actually. It's blonde, but it's kind of got this kind of dry brushing thing going through here, so it's like a dirty blonde sort of color, which is pretty good. This kind of armor piece is a separate piece, so you can kind of remove it and take it off, a bit like the old one used to. The head actually rotates all the way around. You can get down on it and then up a fair bit, not really much kind of side to side. This top piece here kind of rotates around a little bit, and then you can kind of move his body up and down here like that, which is fairly good. And the arms rotate around in that ball joint here. You can move it out to here, you get more rotation there, and then the arm bends up to there, so you kind of got this elbow joint here which kind of covers up here. When you do have it out like that, it does show all of this in here, which is a little bit, I wouldn't say unsightly, but I guess it makes it, you know, probably going to have him more in that kind of pose here. He's got these plastic pieces here which I think are a separate piece here, and the hands kind of rotate in and around here, can bend around. You do get waist articulation, so you can bend around this way, but then also that upper torso bit does also rotate around, but it doesn't seem to like hold in a position. It just sort of like falls back into that stance there. This piece here, so he's got this extra piece on here which is featured in the show. And you've got the open arm, open hand there, which you can swap out for the other one, so you can then get him to hold the sword in that hand if you wish. And obviously the articulation exactly the same. This piece here is like a brown soft plastic which is then painted yellow. This again is grey plastic with the red paint on here, which looks nice. The sword here is grey plastic, but you do get some silver paint actually on here, and that is across both sides, and also some brown paint on the actual handle itself. You get the same kind of yellow plastic that's used for the armbands on this kind of waist piece here, and then you get your typical kind of brown cloth skirt thing which kind of lifts up, and it feels like that is kind of brown plastic, but it is also painted on the top, and it looks like you've got a bit of like a wash to go with it as well. The legs, you've got several points of articulation here, so I'll try it with this one because I'll explain about the other leg in a minute. So they come up to sort of there, back to that point there, and also out to the side there. So you do get a fair bit of articulation. There's a cut right at the top here, which does kind of break the sculpt, but it's not too bad because it's kind of hidden in around this kind of loincloth piece. Again, same sort of articulation with the knees here, where you've got this knee here and it comes back, and then it will then rotate round back again, so the leg can actually go all the way back. The boots are pretty nice. They're painted brown at the top, and then you get like a real neat kind of wash here. So there's loads of different shades of brown in here. So this piece is actually rotates around, and the foot bends up and down, and then out to the side here and out to the side there. Now, the reason why I mentioned about the legs is actually they're either the feet or these bottom leg bits around the wrong way. So actually the feet here, you can see where you've got that kind of, you know, where you would have this bit which kind of comes out here. That is actually on the outside rather than on the inside. So either these feet pieces here are around the wrong way, or the whole boot are on the wrong feet. Either way, I can't seem to swap them out. So what I tried to do is pull these bits off and swap them around, thinking that would be the best way, because this bit here seemed really tight trying to pull it off. Anyway, I ended up putting this off, and then there's like a little nodule thing on the end of it which came off, so it snapped off. So I've actually had to super glue that back on. So I'm going to email the store where I got it from and just see if they're able to get a replacement if I do send it back, see what they say. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing, but he does display nice. He does look, I think he will look good alongside the other figures. And yeah, you know, there's a ton of articulation in this figure. I'm not sure if he looks better with or without the shield here, because he's already got that kind of shield on there. I guess the only thing, you can put the sword in there, I guess. So there is like a little gap in here, so you could actually put the power sword just in the back there, like that, and hold it in there. Then I guess this can go on his arm, but I don't know if you could then fit that over the top there, and then have him carrying that as well. Potentially you could do, or if you want him to actually hold it, you just kind of slot it over here and it kind of fits in there like that, and then you can move that around like so, and there he is. So all in all, he's a pretty good figure. I'm hoping the feet thing is like a one-off, or maybe there's a batch of them that are done that way. If you do notice, I mean, looking at it now, it doesn't look too bad, does it? It's just when I kind of picked up and messed around with it, it's a little bit off-putting. But when you get them in a decent pose, it doesn't. It's not so obvious. So it depends how desperate you are. You know, you can always see if you do get a bad one, see if the store will replace it and swap it out for another one. Probably it's not the best idea to try what I did and try and pull it off and put it back on again. It doesn't seem to do the trick, unfortunately. So, but other than that, it's a pretty good toy. I'm surprised how big he is, actually. And there he is alongside the box there with all the artwork. The artwork does look really good. Very impressed with that. So yes, I will be taking a look and reviewing other figures in the range. So stay tuned for those. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.